Welcome to the next episode, WaterparkRanger, Let's Play Pikmin. In the last episode, we went to the Forest of Hope, found a few ship parts, and also encountered a very unfortunate glitch. And in this episode, we're going to go back to the Forest of Hope, obviously, and make a brand new discovery that will hopefully lead to us finding even more ship parts and progressing further through the game. And just in case you missed this last episode, I'll just say it again, every day is going to be split up into 2 episodes because of how my uploader often messes up halfway through, causing you to have to wait longer. And that's no fun, is it? So, back to things that actually matter at the moment. We are going to activate the next onion. It's such a wonderful shade of yellow. I really like how the yellow onion and the yellow pellets look. They're just so happy. So while that sprouts, let's knock down this pellet posy. Wow, it's taking a little bit longer than I expect. I'm just so used to it being so instantaneous after you play 2 for a while, though I'll try and hold off of mentioning 2 for the most part. And it's a Yellow Pikmin. The color is different, but it seems to be a Pikmin nonetheless. First glance suggests that this one has what, in some circles, could be considered very large ears. It looks like it may weigh less than the others. In what other ways might it be different from the red Pikmin? No matter, they are obviously quite similar, so I shall call this one a Pikmin as well. So, they have a few different traits besides the ears. For some unexplained reason, they fly really high when you throw them. So that's good for reaching high up targets and ledges. And they have basically, well, I don't understand exactly what the ears are for. I mean, I understand that each Pikmin is supposed to have a characteristic besides just their color. That makes them recognizable. Because reds, you might have noticed that they have a little kind of a nose. That's actually a stinger that they use to do extra damage in combat. Other Pikmin actually will not do as much damage when thrown onto enemies. Sure, they can still fight, but reds are more efficient overall. Not that you'll always have the chance to use them. But although the red spike is obviously for combat, like I explained, it's never really clear what the yellow's large ears are for. Because you'll see that basically all the other... Okay, that's not necessarily true. There's another Pikmin in the series that has a trait that really doesn't make too much sense, but that's a story for another time. For now, let's just work on growing our squad of yellows. Also, you never really need to have that many yellows in this game, because there are parts of the game where you're going to need large numbers of certain kinds of Pikmin, but the jobs that yellows are designed for are meant to be done in small squads. So you're never going to have to find yourself growing many of them. And I'll show you exactly what that entails here with these stones. The yellow Pikmin have picked up some peculiar stones. Why do they decide to grab them? This action seems to be instinctive to the yellow Pikmin. But just what are these strange glowing stones? Brightly glowing cracks cover them. Perhaps these cracks indicate that there's tremendous power locked away within. This merits further research. So we have these strange rocks here that only yellows can pick up. And you see that rock wall there? There was one at the impact site, and no matter what, if you try to attack that with Pikmin, it will not break down unlike the wooden walls. You need to use these rocks, and you have to do it carefully, too. So let's just try and get our bomb-using ones separated. They separate like a different color would. And now we'll throw them towards the wall carefully. It's explosive. The glowing rocks Yellow Pikmin picked up seem to be explosive stones. Perhaps they know that these stones can be used as powerful weapons. The bomb rocks are dangerous, so I must take care when using them. But they should be able to blast open the stone walls that block the pathways. I may even be able to use them against some of the wild creatures. I must be vigilant. Pikmin I dismiss by pressing X bring their bombs when I call them back. Pikmin I throw by pressing A drop their bombs when I call them back. Keep clear of the explosion. When I touch Pikmin directly, they keep their bombs and fall in line. So those are the bomb rock controls. You need to be very careful when using them because they are instant kill for Pikmin that are stuck in their explosive radius. So with that in mind, they are very useful but dangerous tools. So just be careful about how you go about using them. And the bomb rocks are almost always going to be found in some kind of strange object like that can right there. So today we should probably just take out as many of these rock walls as we can, even if we're not necessarily going to do what's located behind them. It'll just save time on later days. On all sorts of days, different things will happen. Like on one day, for instance, there might be an enemy that you didn't see the previous day or returned from an older day, And similar with bombs, they will respawn at the end of each day, but that means you need to make use of the bombs that you can find on the level during the day that you have, basically. So don't explode them uselessly. That means Olimar says you can use them in combat. I advise you to not use them in combat just because it's difficult to control them. And it's better to use the bombs just to get all the obstacles out of the way. Because there are some that are optional walls, but if you can take them out, then they might provide shortcuts, for instance. And that's what I'm going to try and do today. Take out all the walls that I can. Might not get them all, but it'll save time later. Not that we're in dire need of having a lot of time to save. Now, this is a rock wall that's black in color, and that means it's going to take a lot more explosive power to bring down. 9 explosives instead of the usual 3. So just be careful about how many you throw. 3 is usually the maximum that I throw, and knowing that the Pikmin can get away from the explosions safely. And 2 is a safer number to go with. Now, there's a Bulborb there, but I'm not going to fight it. What I'm planning to do is use that little hole in the wood right there, go through because there are more bomb rocks on the other side. And we'll get those bomb rocks and take care of the remaining walls. Now, although he says that they're useful against stone walls, they're also great for bringing down wooden walls much more quickly. So that's another good time-saving device, and it's exactly what I plan to do. Because that wall there is a black stick wall, and as you might have guessed, like the black stone wall, it takes a lot more time and Pikmin power to bring it down. But with bombs, we can bring it down with just 4 explosions. So let's just get to doing that right now. Because although Pikmin can get through that little wooden space to the left, ship parts obviously can't fit through there, so you need to take out this obstacle. Alright, and the last wall, there it is. We'll just take care of it, and it'll give us easy access to the base camp, or landing site, or whatever you prefer to call it. We're going to have a few explosives left over, so we might as well just take care of them safely, because once again, they're just it's really dangerous to use them in combat. I think it's more dangerous to use them in combat than it is just to detonate them safely. There's also a giant yellow pellet that I noticed back there, and I know that after a certain day, it'll disappear from the area. So at some point I'm going to try and get that for the yellows, because like I said, you don't need a lot of them, but I think you need enough to have a backup group just in case something happens to them. Because that's the problem with having a small number of Pikmin. It's not easy to replenish them, so it has to be somewhat sizable just so you have reserves. Now what I'm going to do right now is go back and get a bunch of reds, because they're best in battle. Their nose does so much damage, or the sting, or whatever that's called. And I think they'll be good for carrying back the ship parts today as well, just because they're flower, and flower can just generally perform actions better than leaves or bugs can. That reminds me, we've probably got to get those yellows some nectar at one point if we can. I'll see if I've got the time. So, we'll get that Bulborb from behind. Like so. And hope that glitch doesn't happen to us again. And it didn't. Yay. I think I'm worrying about that glitch a little bit too much. It's not that common, but when it happens, it is so annoying. Especially if you're trying to do 100% perfectly. Because I have done that once before, a no-defs run of the game. And I reset many times mainly because of that glitch. There is one part of the game where it's also that glitch happens just non-stop, and when we get there, I'll be sure to point it out. Who knows, we might actually get lucky this run and not encounter as much trouble with it as I think we will. Sort of like those poison mushrooms in Luigi's Mansion. That gave us a lot more trouble than I could have ever guessed. There should only be one carrying that pellet, because I know there's a ship part we want to pick up, and it's going to take 30, so I'll whistle off one of them. Pretty good aim. There we go. And we're running a little bit low on time here, so as I bring the Nova Blaster in, I'll just read the description for it, and then we're going to move on to the next episode. This extraordinary bolt. I brought this incredible bolt because a salesman told me it is of extraordinary quality that is indiscernible to the average person. Exactly what makes it so extraordinary is a secret. But just look at it. Extraordinary. That's one thing you're going to notice more and more about Captain Olimar throughout the game, is he's really been fooled into buying a lot of useless parts for his ship that he thinks are necessary. Or at least he knows nothing about the mechanics. Nova Blaster. This is a weapon with such incredible destructive force that it can blast stars into tiny pieces. It is a strange allure. Alright, so we're running a little bit low on time here, so we'll continue this day next episode.